Hey world, I'm TamaraJasmine and thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to like, share, and comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Enjoy the show. Hey world, my name is TamaraJasmine and welcome back to my show, Gems. Today I have a special guest, Miss Kendra Deshazer.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Are you nervous?
Yes.
No.
Absolutely.
Girl, listen. You gotta let it go.
Yes.
So today, Kendra is here to share her story, her journey, ups, downs, and what she went through to get her to where she is today.
Yes.
You ready?
Kind of,
you ready?
Yeah,
you ready?
I'm ready.
So let's first talk about where are you from?
Little Rock. Coming from here, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Little Rock, Arkansas. What school did you go to?
J. Fair High School, Chico Elementary,
Okay.
and middle school, Mableville.
Oh, so you Southwest all day.
All day.
Okay. And so tell me about like your upbringing. Did you grow up with your mom, dad?
I grew up in a two-parent household.
Okay.
And my mom died at an early age when I was 13 years old from heart failure. So I had I wouldn't say a rough upbringing just without a mom, because I had a great childhood.
Yeah. 13 to lose your mom. So your father raised you?
Yes, and my aunt who's now deceased, she passed 3 years ago. So it's been kind of hard losing your mom and the person that actually was a mother figure for you.
Got you. Are you only child?
No, I have one sister.
Okay, so it's two girls.
Two girls.
So your father raised both of you on his own?
With my aunt.
With your aunt?
Yes.
And so what was that experience like losing your mom at 13?
Traumatic. Very traumatic.
Yeah.
Very traumatic.
Gotcha. So let's talk about 13 years old. That's about junior high school, right?
Yes.
And that's the point where you start coming into yourself, your personality and everything.
Right.
And you had to come into that without your mom.
Correct.
Explain to me what that was like.
Oh, it was tough, but like I said, I had my aunt, and I had other family members,
Right.
Cousins, but it was tough looking at my cousins with their mom and other, I'm tearing up now thinking about it, other young ladies. It was tough.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that was like, to lose a mom. It's traumatic. So how were you able to maneuver in school?
I did well in school, but later on, like in high school, fights, I wouldn't blame it on my losing a parent. It's just, I think, just being rebellious as a teen.
Yeah. And it could have been acting out of like emotion.
Right, but
okay.
Can't really say.
Listen, I understand that.
Right.
Can't really say. So you go through junior high school, you and your sister, your father and your aunt. So what happens when you graduated?
I started getting into trouble, hot check trouble.
Okay, so before we get to the hot check trouble, were you working? Like, what was your, did you have a plan? Like, okay, when I get out of high school, I'm going to do this.
Yes, I had a plan to go to cosmetology school, but I did that in a medical assistant school. But before while transitioning into my adulthood, I started getting into trouble.
Okay, so as you were going through your schooling, after high school, you started running into some
trouble.
Trouble like relationship?
No, just like I said, hot check trouble. Growing up as a child, I was spoiled due to losing, I guess, a mother. Right. So I had everything. Nothing was spared. So I guess I would say now looking back on it, I want to continue having everything and coming easy. And you know, when you're a child, you're not working, it's given to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so as an adult, you gotta work, or I wanted it the same way as a child, to be honest. I wanted it given to me. So
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
And you do hear the stories where a person loses a parent or parents, and so you have the family members that are really kind of overcompensate, you know, to make you feel, you know, special. So the hot checks, before you started this, were you just a single woman out in the world? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
So tell me about the hot check. How did you start writing the hot checks, first of all?
A friend of a friend.
Okay, because we ain't have to say no names. Yeah, right.
Yeah, a friend of a friend was like, girl, we can write these checks and you can get this stuff for, you know, just kind of like turning me on to the game or whatever you call. And it kind of escalated from hot checks to counterfeit money to even bigger, meeting bank presidents, bank associates.
Girl, let me find out. What bank president did you?
I'm going to say the bank. I can say the bank because that's on record.
Right.
Arvest Bank.
Okay. That's on record that it was Arvest Bank.
So
okay.
If you Google me, it's going to say X amount of dollars, you know, laundered from an Arvest Bank. So it gets bigger.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
So you get out of high school, you start working, and then you also start doing cosmetology school. Someone turned you into writing checks. Mm-hmm. So about how old were you? Like early 20s?
Oh, I'll say 18.
Okay.
18.
So you're 18 years old and you're writing these hot checks. Mm-hmm. So how much were you getting?
I cannot put a number on it because when you're writing checks, you're getting merchandise and money. So I cannot.
But it was a lot.
It was a lot.
And so were these hot checks things to like buy material things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so it hadn't matriculated into a cash flow for you yet?
Not at that time.
Okay, it was just like for the lifestyle.
Correct.
Okay, and how long were you doing that?
15, 16 years. And until I started getting into major trouble, having to do prison time. Okay,
so for 15 years, you were doing the hot checks.
And the bank fraud, wire fraud. And
okay, so hold on, let me...
name the fraud.
All the fraud.
It was done.
The A fraud, the B fraud, the C fraud, D fraud.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay, which ended up leading to a
Kendra Deshazer versus the United States government.
Okay, so in this process, did you have children?
Yes. My son, I had my son for the first 6 years of this process, and then I had my daughter.
Okay, so the son is the oldest. So when you were writing these checks, this was just at the time personal gain, and it hadn't turned into like maybe you're writing the checks, you're getting merchandise, you're reselling it. This is just all for you.
Personal, correct.
Okay, so then I have to ask, how were you making your money? Was it from your employment?
Yeah, I was working like part-time jobs.
Okay.
I had got a salon and I was doing nails.
Okay.
But my main income was fraud.
Okay, but you got a salon, so you were a business owner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, listen. At least you were. You were washing the money.
Correct.
I will say that.
I was. Yeah.
Okay, so at this time, you have a son, single or married at the time?
Single.
So single mom, running a business, and you have your son.
Yes.
Still writing the checks.
Writing the checks, doing bank fraud, and
so
you name it.
My next question is, how do we go from the checks to the bank fraud?
like I said, I met someone at a bank, RBS Bank, and then they turned me on to, at the time, it was cashier's check. During that time, they were not, well, I'll say this particular bank was not registering their cashier's checks. So,
hold on. Explain to the people what not registering a cashier's check means.
they have to put it in a log at the bank and also send it over to their banking center.
Okay.
At this particular time, RBS Bank was only putting it in a log book. Say you came in there and you bought a cashier's check. Tamara Thomas bought a cashier's check today. And they would put the date and the time, and whoever sold it to you would sign.
Okay.
So that was it.
Okay.
No further, nothing.
Okay.
So like I said, they caught on to that, and in these days and time, the scammers caught on to it, and they didn't log them. So I was given the whole book of cashier's checks, and I was able to cash them and do what I want to do with them.
So, as you say, this is all public record.
Yeah.
How much money did you see as it related to those cashier checks?
Over 100,000 at the time, but
Wow.
at the time.
So, however you figured out you were able to get 100,000 worth of cashier's checks.
Well, that was just the cash they say I used. I don't know,
Gotcha.
because you got a friend, I got a friend. I'm passing them around, so
Absolutely.
I don't know who.
Right.
You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so at this point, what does the lifestyle look like when you're making the quick money? I mean, you have
It looks
people.
good.
Because what year was this?
This was like in the early, like 2007 or 8.
Okay,
something around
so
about.
2007, 2008, and you're getting 8,000 here, 9,000 here, 15. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
So what were you doing with it at that point?
Paying my bills, of course, because I gotta live. I got a son. He's in every activity you can name. Anything he wanted, he got it. Any family member that needed something, I gave it to him. Any friend that needed something, I was there. Just living life.
Just living life.
Living life. I got a plastic surgery procedure, a couple of them. Just living life.
Just living life. Was there ever a time where your family members or your friends was like, hey, where are you getting this money from?
Absolutely, everybody. But
Okay.
if you wasn't getting it with me,
Then
I was
you
not
don't have
telling
any
it.
conversation for them.
Right.
I'm sure at a certain point that came to an end. And
Several times. I was incarcerated several times.
so tell me about the first time you were incarcerated. Had you had your daughter at the time?
Yeah, she was one.
So you had a toddler, and then how old was your son at the time?
He was 6. They're 6 years apart.
Okay, so the first time you were incarcerated, what led to the arrest?
Someone had led, it was a detective, Karen Andrews, it's on record. She was onto the hot check scam. She couldn't figure out where it was coming from, how it was coming from, where someone told on me and one of my co-defendants. And she couldn't come up with anything, but I had paid for a flight ticket to Florida. And that's what led to the initial, got her on my trail. I had wrote a hot check for a plane ticket.
See, I'm late because I didn't know you could write a hot check for a plane.
You can write checks to every item, flew here, there, and everywhere. You
Okay.
Back then, you could write a check for
to catch a flight. So you know my
round trip.
So I have to ask, because you grew up in Little Rock. What was this like, Sherwood?
The hot check, it went from Sherwood to, I think, like, what is the name of that place? I don't even think they have it anymore. It's like at the time, it was right in the curve at the end of Broadway. It kind of, kind of check thing.
Right.
Some kind of thing, and if you don't pick it up in so many days, they turn it over to the prosecutor or whatever.
Okay, so you have a daughter that's 1 year old, and you have a son that's how old?
6, almost 7.
Okay,
At the time.
and they come knocking at your door.
No, they didn't come knocking. They put me on the news.
They put you on the news.
Yeah.
Were you 7 o'clock news?
I was all the news.
Okay, all right. All the news outlets.
All the news outlets.
And what did they say?
They had my picture, my height, looking for this black female.
Oh, you were wanted?
Her? Yeah, I was wanted.
Okay.
They didn't give me no warning, just on the news.
So you at home one day chilling, I'm sure someone calls you.
No, I see myself, and then the phone started ringing.
Okay, so let's go back to that. So you are sitting down, and you are watching the news, and your picture pops up.
Yes.
And what's going on in your head at that moment?
Shit, they done caught up with me. Let me call the buzz.
Really? So you start preparing yourself for what could possibly happen.
Yes.
Okay, so from that point, how long did it take them before they caught up with you?
I called the bondsman, and he took me down there.
He took you down?
To the detective station on, Markham, at the end of Markham. And that's when I met the detective, Karen Andrews. And she said she knew I wasn't the person she was looking for at that time, but I got on her radar about that check from that plane ticket. So she started asking me questions. Of course, I had no answers. So from that point on, it just led to the eye was on me.
The eye was on you.
And then later on, that's when the knocking at the door came.
The knocking at the door.
And the helicopter and all that stuff.
The helicopter?
Yeah, they sent the helicopter. They sent about 80 police. I eluded them. I hid in my house, and they searched the house, and they found a lot of merchandise, and of course, I was on the news again.
Okay, second time you're on the news. So where were your children at the time when this was going on?
At the time, my aunt and I lived across the street from each other. So once we saw the police, she got the kids, and like I said, I hid a place in the house, and they searched the house, and I got out the house without them finding me.
Oh, so you were able to escape?
Yeah, because I knew this time if they got me, they were going to keep me, because at that time I had elevated from the money, and I had like a car ring business where you could get any Ford you wanted, any Ford you wanted.
So let me get this straight. No, I'm just trying to processing this. So if a person needs a Ford Explorer, Ford Mustang, Ford Expedition,
Excursion, whatever, brand new, you got it with the title.
They could, wait a minute, with
the title.
Meaning that they own it.
If you ordered your car, you owned it that day.
So
plastic wasn't even tore out the floor, seats, or nothing.
Okay, so for the people in the back, you were able to network with some people, and people were able to get cars from you. And how much did they
say? You wanted an Excursion at that time. An Excursion was from 60 to 80. Okay. I was charging half.
So people were bringing in $40,000 cash to you and walking away. Okay, so when that came to light, how did that affect the your clientele? When the cars have to go back, or just it was just done?
It was over. I was sentenced to 5 years in the state.
5 years. So 5 years in the state,
Well, I was sentenced to 30 years, but I only had to do 5 because in state you only do not half of your time.
Not half of your time.
Mm-hmm.
When you were going through this, was there something in you that said, it may happen one day to me and I need to put up some money for a lawyer and all of that? Did you have that
I
set?
already had that.
You already had that set. And was there a plan like that you maybe discussed with like an auntie, like if I gotta go, I need you to watch my kids, take care of them?
She was already set.
Prepared
everything.
So you get convicted, they send you to the state penitentiary. Tell me what went through your head the first day you walked through those doors.
To be honest,
Yeah.
To be very, very honest, when I get out this time, I'm going to do them real dirty. I just had that mentality, so I'm finna get all the money I can get, everything I can get. I was selfish at the time, just thinking about myself, and I'm going to make sure my kids got everything in the world.
So
and
the first time leaving your babies for 5 years, in your mind, you like, I'm going to get out and I'm going to go even harder than what I did before.
Yes.
Okay. So what was the experience like being in prison?
For me, the hardest part is being away from my family because I'm so tight with my family. Other than that, I'm laid back. It's whatever. I adapt to anything.
Right.
If I gotta stay in the box, I just gotta stay in that box.
Okay.
That's just me. So
Gotcha.
it wasn't, nobody was beating me, raping me, or none of that crap.
Yeah.
You know, it does happen, but no, just being away from my family. That was the hard part. That's it.
So you have a very laid back personality, but if you have to get down and fight or throw those hands, you'll do what you have to do to survive.
Do it.
But what is prison like for those young ladies that have never experienced that life? You know, what happens to them? Because everybody likes fast money. The majority of the world likes fast money, but they don't like the consequences that come from it. And so if you could say something to the young girls, what would you say about prison life?
If you're like living out in the free world, doing what you want to do, taking care of yourself, getting what you want, prison is definitely not prison is not for anyone to start off. But if you feel like you cannot go without certain things, don't get into trouble to go to prison.
Don't get into trouble
because you are limited.
So you do your first round, you get out, you're home, you see your babies, family. What's your game plan?
Like I told you, I was thinking selfish to go harder. I got out. I did great with my salon. I worked at a plasma center for 9 years.
So wait a minute, not to cut you off. Okay, you had a nail shop the first time. You got back out.
And went back to it.
Okay, so you already had your business still in place running. Okay.
And then I got a part-time job at the plasma center, which became full-time.
Okay.
So I'm doing nails and makeup on the side, but I'm liking the plasma center because it's good money.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
So finally I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna do right this time and do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
I get a phone call. We've been looking at you for the last 10 years. We want to federally indict you.
Okay, so wait a minute. You're out. You are working your job. You have a salon still. You have a full-time job. So what else did you start doing on the side?
At that time, Nothing.
So
Absolutely.
So you weren't
nothing.
doing anything. So how did they come back with an indictment? Because if that's the case, they could have served it to you while you were already locked up.
Correct.
Okay.
They said that I used the Social Security number. That wasn't mine.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm thinking in my mind, what are you talking about? I'm working.
Right.
I said, well, just call me when you got the indictment. And
Right.
I hung up the phone.
Right.
Okay, like I said, I'm working 9 years past. Almost 10 years. They call and say, we have the indictment.
So let me get this straight. When you got out of jail the first time, you were on the straight and narrow. You really were trying to stay out of trouble. Okay. And I want to ask you, so you have 2 children, same father, different fathers?
Different fathers.
Okay. Were they active in the children's life?
Yes.
Okay. So you are gone for 5 years. You get out, you come back, you're home for almost 10, and they pull an indictment from something that you did 10 years before.
Something that I never did. But due to my past criminal history, the federal government indicted me and sentenced me on circumstance.
After 10 years?
After 10 years, due to me having, like I said, every fraud. Nobody actually came to federal court saying, you did this. This is evidence what we have on you. They went on my past saying I had the similar, likewise crime. That's how the feds operate. They had the Social Security Administration and all these, everything, to just give scenarios. And then I was convicted on circumstance. I was convicted of 7 counts of it's just different frauds, wire fraud, identity theft, just you name it.
You name it.
On circumstance.
For things that you did prior to.
Right.
So I know you had an attorney, right? And so what were they saying? Like, because in my mind, I'm thinking that any crime that I did, you would have already put that on me in the 5 years time served. So how do you come back once I'm free, working class citizen, 2 businesses, your salon, and you're full-time at the Plasma Center? How does that happen?
The judge, he let me go home.
He sent you home, okay.
But it was up to, I had to have a jury trial, and it was up to the jury to convict me. So it was, they convicted me on circumstance due to my past.
Wow, that's kind of like a hard pill to swallow.
Correct.
So did they offer you like a plea deal?
Yeah.
Okay, what was that?
17 years.
17 years. Is this Fed time?
Federal.
Which is day for day. So they offered you 17 years.
That was my offer, my one and only, and no other offers were given.
Okay. So you went to trial. The jury found you guilty. And how much time did they give you?
They gave me 6.
They gave you 6. So you've already done 5 in the past, and now they're giving you 6 years day for day. What was going through your mind when they gave you that sentence?
Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Do you feel like when you get out the first time and you started doing good, do you feel like there might have been some other people that might have said some things or gave them information?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, because I have documents that one person used like a cartoon character name, and then one of them is anonymous. So I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
So when you were going through this the second time, were you in a relationship?
Yes.
you were in a relationship. And
He
he,
just purchased our home together. We're planning
wow.
on getting married.
Wow. Okay, so was he aware of your past?
Yes.
So he was aware of your past, loved you still, accepted it, and then you find out that you're going back. And so what happened with that relationship?
It was dissolved the first day I went to prison.
Did you know it was going to be dissolved?
No.
Was there a reason why it was dissolved?
He said due to his career.
And what is his career?
He's a detective.
Okay, the plot thickens. I wasn't ready for that. So you were dating, and love is love, you know. So you were dating a detective,
living
with him. He was aware of your past life, and while you guys are together, you get this indictment.
Yes.
So was he present with you during the court process, or he was just?
He was at work.
He was at work. Girl, was he working on your case?
That's what I said.
I mean,
in the end.
Because I'm just wondering, it sounds like an inside person got
that's
you.
That's what I said.
Were you sleeping with the enemy?
That's what it feels like now.
Okay.
When you look back on it.
When you look back. So you go in this second time for a 6-year?
A 10-year, for a 6-year sentence, but a 10-year crime, they said.
10-year crime. And the man that you've built your life with, how did you find out that he just was not going to stick around?
It was about 10 days later. I talked to my aunt on the phone, and she said he told her to, due to his career, he couldn't stick around. And
so, do you blame him? And I'm not justifying, I'm just
asking. No,
asking.
I don't blame him, but I feel like that is a poor excuse to get out of a relationship, because I've spoken to his superiors. One of them, we still remain friends. And my past criminal behavior or criminal history wouldn't have affected his career or anything, as long as I wasn't still partaking in criminal behavior or including him.
But did he ever think about, okay, this is your past, so it will come back up? You know, did he ever consider, like, if we're in it together? And I say that because a lot of times when men are locked up, I know a plethora of women who have stayed with them during the duration of their time. But it seems like when it comes to women, that's not always the story. They're not sticking around.
No, and I've been incarcerated with thousands of women, and it's a slim few that the guy actually sticks around.
So he didn't do any money on the books, nothing.
He expected my family to continue paying my portion of the bills.
Okay. For the people in the back. So let me get this straight. You go to jail, and like you mentioned before, you kind of set yourself up for a rainy day.
Right.
So you guys bought this home, beautiful home, and you guys are, paying together on the bills, and you go to prison, and he reaches out to your family?
Yes, absolutely.
And he asked them
to help. And they agreed at the time, because this is
Was the kids there living?
My daughter was part-time there, but definitely not living there. Definitely not, because she has a great father that immediately took her in. But 3 days in, they was like, yeah, we'll pay her portion and whatever. But then, like we said, 10 days later, due to my career, I don't want this. So.
Okay. All right. So what happens? What did you miss with your kids? Because you missed the first early.
I missed my daughter's high school graduation.
You missed prom, homecoming, all of those things.
Correct.
Okay. How did that affect the dynamics between you and your children?
It didn't affect it at all because even though my physical absence was absent, but
Right.
my family and my bond and my everything it didn't affect them. Due to me being incarcerated, I have great children. I mean, they turned out great. They beat all odds. They're not a statistic what they expect them to be.
Gotcha.
They're not.
Did you allow them to come visit you when
Yes.
you were locked up?
Yes.
Okay. You do your time, and I have to ask a question. They say that when you are in jail, you learn about more crimes and how to get better at it when you're there. Is that true?
Very true.
Okay.
Very true.
Are there people that you still have kept in contact with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you do your 6 years. You come home. The world is definitely different. I'm sure you came home to this whole social media and all those things. So how did you adjust? Did you come home so you have to stay with someone, or what happened with that?
When you leave federal prison, you have to stay at a halfway house.
Okay.
So I stayed at a halfway house 28 days. I was released early, thank God. It wasn't a bad experience, but
Absolutely.
I was released early.
Yeah.
I came home, and of course I was with my family and readjusting and just trying to enjoy life again. Yeah.
So you mentioned that your son is the oldest and that you missed your daughter's prom. Were you out during your son's prom?
In graduation.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So you got a chance to.
Yeah.
Was there any animosity between the kids because you were able to catch something for one and not the other?
No, because
Okay.
if you ask them, it was like I was present because I made sure everything was taken care of. Even now, people say I overcompensate and they're adults.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Well, with parenting, I mean, 20, 40, 50, 60, it
still your
never,
kids.
they don't go away. So you come out, you get readjusted, and what is life like? Because you come from 8, 10, 15, 20,000, that's play money to you.
I'm humble. I'm very humble because the type of restrictions I got. I can't get new lines of credit. It's just a number of things. You can't buy a vehicle. It's so many things you can't do.
Okay, so
this is my first month to be able to obtain my own vehicle in my own name.
Okay.
So I'm looking for a vehicle now because I had to wait a lot due to my conditions of my probation.
So when you get out, are there like stipulations? Do they want you to find employment?
When you have a financial crime, it's kind of like they breaking you down to humble beginnings. Like, you're each crime is different. My crime is considered a financial crime, so I can't
blue collar.
Yeah. Okay. You can't work in certain places. You can't do this. So nowadays, everything is debit card, check card,
Absolutely.
card. So where do I fit into work?
So where do you fit into work?
So I went back to the plasma center to work.
Okay.
Caught COVID. I was laid off. I have lupus. So they said I was one of the ones with the high risk factor. So therefore, I got my little unemployment, but where do a person with a financial federal crime work? So once I started looking and talking to my probation officers, nowhere right now. You cannot go anywhere right now.
How does that work? Because, this is where I got stuck a couple of paragraphs ago when you told me that you can't even buy a vehicle. So without a car,
you can't get a credit
how
card
do you go to work?
Build your credit. You can't, I can't ask you to co-sign for me or put me on your credit so I can get this. I can't, I have to live off of what they consider a strong family bond.
A strong family bond. Wow.
Until these stipulations are met.
Okay, so you know the messy side of me. I have to ask for the guy that you were dating. Has he seen you since you've been out?
One time he passed by where I'm living, and I just so happened to be outside. So it was like a deer in headlights.
Caught him riding.
Caught him riding. Caught him riding.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
That was it.
So what does life look for you now?
Now it's great. I can, like I said, I'm looking for a vehicle.
Okay.
I was able to reopen my credit cards and, start back building my credit. It's like starting life all over again. So it's looking up. I have a husband. I was
Congratulations.
recently married.
Okay.
So it's looking up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
life it's getting there. I have some TV deals, which leads me here with you.
Okay, good.
So life is
it's looking
up.
Well, I mean, you definitely have a story to tell, and I'm sure that there are so many intricate details that we might have left out.
Yes.
But you said a mouthful. You said a mouthful. What is your advice? Because a lot of people, especially this generation, younger generation, they don't want to put in the work. They want to see that instant gratification. If you could give someone or everybody advice, what would you tell them?
Put in the work. Hard work does pay off. Hard work absolutely does pay off in the end. Criminal behavior is not for anyone. Anyone, I would say, shy way away from that because you can't get back time. You can't get back time.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to take you somewhere real quick. If you could go back to your 13-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Don't write a check. Don't write a check. Don't write a check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That is cool.
Right.
Well, this is good. I mean, everybody doesn't have a ending like yours.
Yeah.
You know, you look good, and God is doing His thing in your life.
Right.
So, this was good.
Yes, it was, and thank you for having me.
I truly enjoyed this conversation.
Yes.
Listen, to the people in the back, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this conversation. This is what I need you to do. Don't forget to like this video. I need you to share this video, and I also need you to subscribe. This is how you can find me. I'm on Facebook under Tamara Thomas. On Instagram, you can find me under my show, of course. That's Jasmine Soiree, JasmineSoiree, Jasmine Soiree. And also my personal IG is TamaraJasmine. That's TamaraJasmine, 2 underscores. That's how you find me. And how do they find you?
They can find me on all platforms, and like I said, be looking for me on CBS, NBC, and a few other places.
Big things are popping for her. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
This was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Great
so
conversation.
much.
Give me some, girl.
Yes.
Damn, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You welcome.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Until the next time, people, we are out. And listen, don't write no damn checks, okay?
Please don't.
Please don't write. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to like, share, and comment. I want to hear your thoughts.